It's been a tough week for François Legault. His party has plummeted in the polls. He's taken personal responsibility for Monday's by-election loss in Arthabaska. The by-election was also a bitter disappointment for Conservative leader Éric Duhaime, who lost the riding to the PQ. David Heurtel joins us. Hi, David.
Great to be with you, Mitsumi.
So, David, François Legault says it's time for him to show some humility and to start listening to the people. I think a lot of people heard this and thought, but wait a minute, he's been premier for 7 years. He hasn't been listening to people up until now? What's that about?
It's about time.
It's about time.
Well, we know, this premier we know has been, polling obsessively, focus grouping obsessively throughout both of his mandates. And obviously, this is what he wants to project to try to start rebuilding his image. And he's going back to his old playbook, the pandemic François Legault, when he was at the top of his popularity, this very human, trying to connect with voters. So I'm convinced that the internal polling, which I've not seen, says that. You have to connect on a human level with Quebecers, with the base. Two, I think there's obviously something there for his caucus. Big meeting today. Right now, all the polling we're looking at, Mitsumi, shows that if an election were held tomorrow, there would be a good statistical chance that the CAQ would not have any seats left. So you're looking at about 80, close to 90 people that would be looking for jobs a year away from now. So you might see some people starting to say, I'm not running again, I'm not running again. So he has to keep people attached and motivated. So I think that's a message for them. And three, very quickly, I think he's trying also to distinguish himself from Paul Saint-Pierre-Plamondon, the PQ leader. There's a lot of rumblings, and you're going to see this growing as close as we're getting to the election. Paul Saint-Pierre-Plamondon has an attitude problem. He's perceived internally and with a lot of people, and we've seen it somewhat leaking out in the media, his arrogance and his aversion to being contradicted. So I think he's trying also to redefine himself as an opposition to Paul Saint-Pierre-Plamondon.
But François Legault has met with his cabinet, as you say, and his caucus. He's promised a cabinet shuffle. A lot of people are comparing his situation to Justin Trudeau's, but at the end of the day, though, as similar as it may seem, the CAQ is not the Liberal Party, right? The CAQ is a coalition.
It's a coalition, and it's a party built in the living room of François Legault. Let's remember this. This is not an institutional, natural governing party that has over 100-year history. It's a party that is centered around one man. And so, yes, there is that difference. But your question, can the CAQ rebound? Remember, a year ago, I'll still say, a year ago, what were we talking about? We were talking about the degrees of inevitability of a 200-seat plus majority of the next Prime Minister, Pierre Poilievre. So is something possible? Yes, because we're going to see, it might not benefit the CAQ, but the PQ has some weaknesses. No economic platform, the referendum, the growing impacts of the tariffs, no answer on healthcare, no answer on education, no answer on the housing crisis. The microscope is going to start turning towards the PQ, and that could spell an opening for the Liberals, actually.
Because you're right, the PQ won big, over 46% of the vote, but there was also nobody but Éric Duhaime, the Conservative Party leader, movement. And, what about the leaders? I mean, they did come a distant third. They'd run a well-known local candidate there, David, and the leader, Pablo Rodriguez, he went to the riding 8 times during that campaign.
Yeah.
So does this tell us anything, if anything?
Well, I mean, yes and no. First of all, Pablo Rodriguez became the leader on June 14th. And he still has to define himself to Quebecers as a potential premier of Quebec. We've known him as a federal minister, but it's a different thing. And the most important point about this is that, I would say it's a positive, being able to attract a quality candidate like the one they found in Arthabaska, a local candidate. But also, you have to realize, Mitsumi, that the Pablo Rodriguez has taken over a party much like what Gorton and Hughes took over in 2022 with the Montreal Canadiens. Everything has to be rebuilt. And I think that's going to be the next challenge over the next 3 to 9 months, really rebuilding the party, but also defining himself to Quebecers as the one offering the solutions on the major kitchen table issues, which obviously have to do with the economy.
Okay. Thank you very much for this, David.
Great to be with you. Thank you.